Good morning. Sunday morning. I'm looking out the window. I can see across the water. I can see the hills. So obviously it's clear. I'm watching the last of this full moon and its cycle going down. Change. This is what everything's about, is change. We're constantly changing. We're constantly evolving. I took a photo last night coming back from my walk. Thought I could stay out long enough to watch the moon in its fullest. Couldn't stay up that late. But I took a picture and the moon was close to being in its fullest. And I captured this tree in bloom. And here we are in the first parts of February and the tree is in bloom. Most parts of this country, we're in winter. Change. Nature shows us constantly. Everything changes. We evolve. Everything's a season. And when we can take a moment and watch how we are given clues on how to deal with life, everything's a season. So when we're in the middle of a battle, when we're in the middle of change, and there seems to be no end to whatever, the problems, the sadness, well, it could even be joy. Of course, when it's joy, we want it to never end. But for most and for a lot, there are those moments where we go through troubles, sadnesses, losses. Watch nature. Everything has its season. And for those that have gone through a loss, take this time to cherish the time that you have. Notice those around you that love you. Those going through sadnesses know this is just a moment. See past. We're almost into another season. From the photo that I took last night, it would seem that we're there now where I'm at. The season of renewing, spring. This moon felt different for me. I wrote a few things, took a few photos, and what I felt from what I took, it was almost a sense of darkness that came through. And the thing that I find in this change that I'm going through, and there will be others out there going through the, the same or similar changes. We all have a dark and we all have a light. And there was almost a sense of, I could feel the darkness within me by what I was seeing and what I was capturing with my phone. Of course, maybe it was night. But when I took the photos and I sat back and I observed them, the words that flowed were a sense of darkness. I mentioned the other day that when we write, when we start using our creativity, there's a healing source of release when we practice or we participate in art. And art comes in many forms. I'm finding myself wanting to write. I'm finding myself wanting to capture moments with my phone through photos. I find myself playing with clay and trying to create things. And I do these. All of which are healing forms of a release for me. But at the same time, I can share. I share my photos. And mostly I share a lot of my thoughts. And for some, I might share too much. But it's like, this is a healing form for me, which I heal myself through sharing. I had two beautiful souls that showed up yesterday. And the moment they walked into the shop, it was, man, I just felt water coming out of my eyes. I felt them so strong. It was, change. They were going through change. And these two were on a twin flame journey, and their energy is incredible. We were able to share a moment. And these are my days. Soul family, people who are and have been part of your many lives, show up. And you know you can register them through your energetic field. You can feel them. You feel a sense of familiarity. And you'll know. This moon was very strong. I'm looking at it now. Having a strong cup of coffee like I do every morning. Change. Surrender to change. Don't fight. The more you fight what's coming to you, the harder it is, and the longer it lasts. One of the biggest lessons I learned, and I am still learning, and as I told those two that I talked to yesterday, change isn't easy. It's a process. Mostly it's through unlearning things that we've learned. It's a process. I felt a darkness in me, and I felt myself going into me, peeling back still more layers, seeking the center, my center, always. It's a process. This journey that we're on is a process. It's all about change. Are you willing to surrender to it? Take a moment, go outside. Depending on where you're at, the season will be different. But this journey is awesome. Once you surrender to, there are many on this twin flame journey that listen. And for many, it's very difficult. It's been difficult for me, but I'm finding myself breathing. I'm finding me. And that's the whole purpose. And that's the whole goal. And I believe that's the biggest reason for the connection. It's healing yourself, finding yourself. Oh, yeah. The connection's an awesome connection. The universe has its way. God in the universe has its way with everything. And when you surrender to this journey, the journey of life, you will find doors opening before you in ways that you can't even imagine. Surrendering to this journey surrendering to change. For many, you're set in stone. It's time to break free. I was on a course once in my life. And yes, I'm finding things happening faster now that I've surrendered to, than ever before. And yeah, there'll be those that sit and say, but what are your financial ends? And that's not a concern of mine anymore. I mean, it is. You got to do the normal, obvious stuff. The doors are opening, and they're opening for you. Are you ready for change? Are you willing to surrender to? Are you willing to open up? Are you willing to become aware of who you are? Let your beauty come through. This is your time. Yes. You know it is. And as I'm saying these words, and as you are listening to me, you feel the energy coming through to you. Yeah, this moon was strong, and I'm feeling it right now. No, just know. Everything you need is in you. It's not outside of you, it's you. And when you come true to you, everything else falls into place. Yes. But you got to get out. You got to do some work. You got to keep your feet on the ground and move forward. Breathe. Breathe. You're beautiful. Well, if any of this resonates with you, you can find me on Facebook, Nicholas Gallardo. Find my Twin Flame page, Twin Flame Journey. You can find me on Instagram, The Power of Love Heals. And all of these, I usually post photos that I take. Sometimes I'm putting more poems or thoughts, my thoughts, with my photos. Find me on YouTube. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Send me a message. Let me know something. You can find me on my website, powerofloveheals.com. There you can, if you want a reading, I do readings, I do energy healings. I do them locally here, where I'm at, one-on-one, face-to-face, or I can do them FaceTime from wherever you are. So if you're interested, you could book a time. I've got a way you can do that on my website. Be well, be love, always. Until next time, stay awesome.